Hello, my name is Aviel Parente, and this is the Light of the Torah. This week's Torah portion is Parshat Vayeira. It's jam-packed with so many stories that are fundamental to Judaism and to Jewish tradition. We have the three angels appearing to Avraham and relaying the news that he's going to have a son with Sarah in their old age. We have the story of the destruction of Sodom and Amorah. Our patriarch Yitzchak Avinu is born this week, and then we have the story of the Akedat Yitzchak, the binding of Isaac. I wish that I had the time to talk at length about each and every story, because they all have their own lessons for us today. But today I'd like to focus on a particular detail in the preface to the story of the destruction of Sodom and Amorah. So after the three angels leave Avraham, two head to Sodom. They are greeted by Lot in the gates to the city, and Lot invites them as guests to his house. That leads to a riot outside of his house by the townspeople, because they're not so fond of hospitality. The angels cause the townspeople to go blind so they don't cause any harm to Lot's house or to Lot's family. And that is when he is warned by the angels that the city is going to be destroyed and that he should gather all of what he holds precious and escape as fast as possible. And then Lot gathered his family, and then the pasuk says something intriguing. Like Ma'amah. And he was stalled. Something was holding Lot back. So what happens? Vayachziku ha'anashim beyado uveyad ishto uveyad shtei vnotav. And so the men grabbed his hand and the hand of his wife and the hands of his two daughters. B'chemlat Hashem alav. In Hashem, because of the mercy that Hashem had for him. Vayotziuhu vayanichu michutz la'ir. And they escorted him and left him outside of the city limits. I have a question. I find it fascinating in and of itself that Lot stalled. The commentaries go at length as to what caused him to stall, whether it be property that he wanted to keep, or his family was causing him troubles, or just he not wanting to go. It's hard to just uproot your entire life in a couple of hours. But that's not what's bothering me. What bothers me is this. Vayachziku anashim beyado uveyad ishto uveyad shtei vnotav. And the men grabbed his hand, and they grabbed his wife's hand, and they grabbed his daughter's hands, and then they were escorted out. That's what bothers me. They had already done what they needed to do. They had already warned him about the destruction which was about to befall unto Sodom. And that in and of itself is fascinating, because why did Lot deserve to do that? The answer to that is because Avraham was such a righteous person, and he had such a positive influence on Lot. Even when they separated in last week's Parshat, he still acted in some of the righteous ways. The best example of which is that he hosted guests, despite the cultural norm, the societal norm, not to do that. But again, they had already warned him of the destruction. So once he showed a little bit of hesitancy, why wasn't it up to him whether or not to stay or leave? Meaning, if he wanted to stay, why would the angels grab him and take him out of the city? And the commentaries also discuss this, but I'd like to offer my own opinion. Abraham's righteousness and positive influence on Lot merited Lot the warning and the rescue mission. Meaning, Lot now wasn't just deserving of a warning, but he also was deserving of being escorted against his will to save his life. From that we learn such an important lesson. Surround ourselves with righteous people, because the positive impact on us is innumerable. Lot, having lived with Avraham and being influenced by Avraham and his ways, gave him his life, literally. Even though he was having some doubt about leaving, he still was deserving of the rescue. For all of us, we need to attach ourselves to righteous people, to people that are better than us, to people that we strive to be, people that are examples and role models for what it means to be a good person, a good citizen, a good, you fill in the blank, be a good father, son, husband, brother. For me, all of these things, surround yourselves with people that you would want to emulate, so that way they could influence you in a positive way, and that in and of itself will morph you to be more like them. There's a line in Pirkei Avot which ties into this beautifully. Perek Revi'i Mishnah Chaf, Ve'eveh zanav la'arayot, ve'al tihi rosh la'shu'alim. Be the tail of the lion, don't be the head of the fox. And that means it's better to be, quote unquote, the worst person in a group of people that are better than you than to be the best person in a group of people that are worse than you. And I put those words in quotes because it's a bit ambiguous what it means, better and worse. That in and of itself is subjective and circumstantial. But the lesson to be learned from Pirkei Avot and from Lot is that we need to surround ourselves with positive influence. And I could take that a step further. The positive influence doesn't just benefit us, but there's a second degree to it. It's not that the men just grabbed his hands. It didn't just end there. Uve'ad ishto, uve'ad shtei vnotav. They also grabbed his wife's hand and his daughter's hands. And they merited the rescue as well by virtue of Lot, by virtue of Abraham. So if we surround ourselves, if we take it upon ourselves to self-improve by surrounding ourselves with people that are better than us in different realms, then we start to become better people, and then the people that are around us will be influenced by us. That is the ultimate lesson of Vayachziku Anashim Be'ado. That is what we can learn from Lot before the destruction of Sodom. With that, I'd like to wish all of us a Shabbat Shalom and the strength and courage to try to find people that are role models, that are examples, that we should find people that we can learn from and emulate. And I hope that comes to everyone with ease, because that's not something easy to do, to find good friends, to find good coworkers, to find good communities. It's not an easy thing to do. I hope and bless all of us that it should come with ease. I hope and bless each and every one of us that it should come with ease. And Shabbat Shalom.